I am here for a quick video about my favorite television show coming back this season, and it is da, da, da. Hold on, wait. I think I can do a round of applause. Hold on, and it is. Okay, hopefully I heard that. Did y'all hear that? All right, I don't know if y'all heard that, but drum roll, please. My favorite TV show is Next Level Chef. If you are not familiar with this competition, it is a culinary competition hosted by Gordon Ramsay. Also have Chef Naisha Harrington as well as Richard Blaze as mentors. They split up the contestants into teams, so there'll be a team Richard, team Gordon, team Naisha, and then they just basically compete until there's only one standing at the end. The reason that I love this show so much is that it's not just professional chef, but there's also uh there's professional chefs, there's home chefs, and there's also social media chefs. And so the way that the competition normally begins is that we have all the social media chefs go in, and then we take the top 10 from there, or the top 8. I can't remember the numbers. I promise next time I come back I will have the numbers. But then we eliminate at least 3 people from that group, and then we'll go to the top 15, and those people will get split up into team Naisha and Team Arrington, and then those people will go on to compete to figure out who would be the next level chef. And the reason why I love this competition is so much, because you would think that, the professional chefs would be the ones who are dominating this competition, but actually for the last 2 years, who has won is a social media chef. And so we had our first season, we had Stephanie, who was Team Naisha Harrington, and then next we had Gabby, who was Team Gordon. Both social media chefs, but both of them kicked ass and really did a great job. And I don't know about you, but it's inspiring to me because I am somebody who really loves cooking. I'm the type of person who, when I was younger, I used to fall asleep to the Food Network. Um, I'm always constantly watching all types of cooking shows, especially cooking competition shows, so from the Top Chef to to Master Chef to Hell's Kitchen. Like, I've watched them all, and this is the first time that I really wanted to really commentate on the shows that I love. I think, so often we can get caught up in like the analytics of things and trying to be trendy. But this year, I really just want to follow my heart and show love to the TV shows that I love. And this is a show that I love. Like, I literally screamed when I saw that a new season was coming on. I literally had in my phone Next Level Chef premiere. So, like, that's how much I love it. So let's go ahead and get into this season. So we are at season 3. We're going to start with social media chefs. We first started off with level 1, and we had some midnight snacks. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not really a big midnight snack person. I think when I think about midnight snacks, I always think about like after the club, you a little bit of drunk. If I'm going to be doing something like that, I'm from Detroit, so I'm going to go to Coney Island. I'm going to get me either a chicken pizza. Well, hold on, that may be too heavy. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it depends on like how drunk I am. If I'm like super drunk, then I may just do some chicken wings and some chili cheese fries. Or if I haven't really ate, then I may just do just some chili fries if I'm not really hungry. Like, that's to me a good midnight snack. Is like, I think about like fries and bacon and like, onions and peppers covered in cheese, a little bit of sour cream on the side. Like, that is the ideal midnight snack to me. But I'm also not like a type of person that will be like on Thursday, like eating a whole meal at midnight. Like, that's not my thing at all. But what about you? Comment down below. What is your midnight snacks? What do you like to go for? In this competition, some of the big standouts in this first round was, of course, Keith from Watts. I really love that they did the social media kind of blurbs and shout outs for us to go find their profiles. I will go find Keith profiles so I can make sure that I'm following him. But we had Keith, we had Eileen, who literally was only known for leftovers, and yet she completely froze in the competition. And that's another thing I love about this competition is that it's not just a culinary competition; it's also a competition about how do you handle pressure and how do you work under pressure. And it shows that it doesn't matter how experienced you are in the kitchen if you're not able to handle or work through stress, then you will not excel in these type of competitions. So we had Keith from Watts. He made like a scrambled egg. He originally was trying to make an omelet. Those nonstick pans was not working for him. So he pivoted and made like a scrambled egg thing that I thought looked okay. Again, not something I want to eat at midnight. Jeff, I don't know. Jeff is the guy who has the ASMR channel with his son. Yeah, it's something about Jeff that I'm not really feeling. Maybe he's overly cocky, but of course, you're in a competition, you're supposed to be. But it's something about him that I'm not really rooting for. But Jeff made these crispy fish nachos. He was probably the only dish that I would definitely eat. It looked amazing. Then we had Bobby who made a poached egg. I don't know what was on top of it. I just remember him having a poached egg and he made a perfect poached egg. Bobby is definitely somebody to look out for in this competition just from how he handles himself. I'm really curious to learn Bobby background. Like, I wonder if Bobby almost went to school for a chef and didn't go through with it. Like, I'm just very curious about him, but he was definitely a standout. Who didn't make it from round one? Spoiler alert, Eileen didn't make it. And it really was because she just like completely just froze. Like, she literally had like this deer in the headlights going on. But one thing that I really appreciated from Eileen is that she said, I'm 53 years old. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. And this is just one glorious bump in a row. And I just love that attitude that, even though she lost, she was able to still see the silver lining of the competition. Next up, we got round two. Round two, we're going for an eye catching dish, a viral dish. And what I realized is that the key to a viral dish is, of course, having bright colors, very pretty, bright colors that will stand out in a picture. And so, one thing that I love this round, Naisha Harrington was in the kitchen and she was coaching the kids and she was telling coaching the kids, she was coaching the contestants and she was telling them to eat with your eyes. Like, and I think that that's a very good thing to remember, especially for me, like I'm trying to really work on my health this year and really make sure that I'm eating better. And one thing that I do is just try to look at my plate. And if it's looking very gray or very brown, it's like, okay, where I need a vegetable, I need some brightness in here. And that's also something I really love about these competitions is that I'm looking at how do they use fruit? I mean, how do they use vegetables? How do they repurpose it? Is there some type of meals that we can take away? Moving forward, I will be highlighting a dish that I would try to recreate, that I'm going to try to recreate, or that I'm inspired by. Um, in this competition, in this round of competition, Bobby ends up dropping half of his food on the ground. Like, I think he was like trying to jump up or do something, and half of his ingredients came off, but he still was able to pull off an amazing dish. It was like a schnitzel, something. It was like very hard to pronounce, but it was like pasta and chicken tenders, and he ended up making it work for him. And I thought that that was again that's why I love these type of competitions because that is life. Like in life, you may think that you have all the ingredients for something and then you turn out you don't have it. And it's not like, and maybe you may not have the money to go back to the store, or you may not be able to redo it. And it's all about how do you handle what you have and making it work. And Bobby ended up still pulling out a top dish, even though half of his ingredients was on the floor. And I just love that so much. Another thing that in this round, or was that in the second round, as they were cooking, Naisha was telling Keith to like relax your shoulders. I love Naisha. I'm always rooting for Naisha, not just because she's black, but just because she's just a very not. I just love how she approaches her mentoring, and she's not just a mentoring about food, but she's also mentoring about how to handle yourself in the kitchen, how to handle pressure, how to be mindful of how pressure you know, uh, is holding in your body. And so she told Keith to relax his shoulder because she could tell that he's very tense. She's always telling people to breathe. One thing that she used to say last year that I like literally adopt in my own life is set yourself up for success. Like, you know, collect yourself, calm yourself, and then set yourself up for success. Like that's just really something that I really took from her and I really apply in my life. But Bobby's ended up pulling off the top dish in there, and I definitely know that Bobby, Jeff, and is it Becca? I want to say. I think that one who did that beautiful that beetroot pasta, which I'm really curious to figure out. Maybe that's something that we will figure out how to do that beetroot pasta. It was so pretty, pink, very beautiful. Um, she did really, really good. Another person that stood out for me is Meg. She's very pretty, but she also had like some pretty good dishes as well. I love people who are pretty and talented. Like those are my favorite people in the world. But we got to talk about Misty because baby, how did Misty make it up out that kitchen? That dish looked so fucking ugly. Like it looks horrible. But apparently, oh boy, who's also an actor, his dish didn't taste well. And so that's how Misty came out of that round. And so now we're in round 3, and these are where they need to make next level dishes. Again, I don't know how Misty made it out. We end up losing Keith this round, which I said about round 2, I didn't think he will make it. But Misty somehow made it. And I'm like, is her husband her ties to Vegas? Is that what's like pushing her over? Or is the food just visually ugly, but it tastes good? Like, I don't know. I don't know how Misty made it, but I wasn't really feeling her. But I think Keith, again, it just goes to show you that, when it comes time for us to work for our dreams, like we need to make sure that we are mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared for, what we're asking for. And I don't think that Keith was physically prepared. Like, cause even just running to, that third running to the platform, like he almost pulled something. And it's just like, Keith, baby, like it's not about weight shaming, but it is about like we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that we are, in the best shape when it comes time for us to accomplish our dreams. Another thing was this. I think Naisha said this again. Every opportunity is a moment for flavor. So she said that to Keith. Oh, that's right. I think I got it wrong. Richard was in the middle kitchen, and I think Naisha was in the top kitchen. But she was saying every opportunity is a moment for flavor. So that's something for us home chefs, when we are cooking dishes, especially when we're like boiling pasta, boiling water. Make sure that you're flavoring that water and make sure that you are using every opportunity to add flavor to your dish. Um, Last thing, the funky water is needed also. Yeah, I don't know how Misty made it. I definitely was just like, I'm happy it tastes good, but her dishes were physically just not really appealing to me. And she's somebody that I don't think is going to make it very far in the competition. But the two people that I say that we need to look out for in this I mean in the social media chefs is definitely Becca, is definitely Bobby. Um May is push and bother. Yeah, I don't know. I hate when I can't even read my own dishes. But yeah, we're definitely rooting for Becky and Bobby. I don't know how Misty made it. I'm not really rooting for her. But I'm definitely rooting for Richard. I hope that he has a better season. At least I hope he picks a better team. But next up, we're gonna have, I think it's gonna be Home Chefs. Who knows? The new episode dropped this Thursday. And then I'll be back next week to talk all about it. Are you watching Next Level Chef? Who are you rooting for? Do you want another social media chef to win? Are you Team Arrington? Are you Team Gordon? Or are you Team Blaze? Comment all of that down below. And then I'll promise to get back to you. All right. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. My last final thing would just be I am rooting for Team Naisha no matter what. But I do want Richard Blaze not to lose his thing. So hopefully Gordon has a bad season. I doubt that it happened because it's fucking Gordon Ramsay, but we'll see. All right. Are you watching this season? Comment down below. Bye bye.